Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working on my October upgrade battle. This month's box contained a Clayboard and a pastel board by Ampersand. I've tried Clayboard before, I've tried their pastel board as well, but I've never heard of the Scratchbord, so that's the one I decided to start with. I have an idea to do something else with the Clayboard too, but the Scratchbord seemed like a really cool thing to try. So I'm doing an image of a panther cub, because I think cats are awesome. And because scratching is a brilliant way to create the fur effect. I've actually done it before when trying to draw animals on paper. So I would kind of put down a base color, etch some kind of fur markings into that first color, and then go over it with another color, and where the paper was etched, it would still have the original first color on there, because the top layer of pencil would only go down on the flat surface of the paper, not into the edges. And yeah, it makes for quite realistic looking fur, so it's brilliant. Clayboard is also scratchable. I already knew that. I've never tried scratching it though, I've just painted on it. But my plan is to draw another big cat, possibly a jaguar or something, actually paint it with, I think I'm going to use acrylics, but I'm not sure yet because I haven't started. I'll see how it goes, but once I've painted it, then I'm going to scratch the fur out to make it look like fur. That's the idea anyway. This bit I'm doing now in the eyes I found the hardest, because I'm trying to tap little dots into the eyes so it doesn't actually look like fur in the eyes, if that makes sense. So the dots instead of lines, and I'm gonna give it another layer later on. I just wanted some in there for reference. Upcrate's chosen artist for this month's challenge, Connor, in his advice section said that he always starts with the eyes and does the lightest bit first. So as this is my first time trying this, I figured I'd take his advice and follow suit. So I got the eyes in there first, did the lightest bits, which are around the eyes, and then kind of work my way out from there. I've also figured out that using the knife with the front of the blade, like I was cutting something, creates much finer and thinner lines, and using it with the back of the blade kind of gives you slightly thicker, brighter lines. So where I want the fur to be darker, because panthers are basically all black, and you can kind of sort of see the hair in some places, and they're sort of brighter in other places, so I'm switching from using the knife front ways and then flipping it and using it backwards for, you know, to create lighter areas and darker areas. It's also really important to etch the lines in the direction of hair growth, which I suppose is the same when you're drawing it with pencils. But yeah, it makes a huge difference to the final image. If you're still watching and you haven't clicked away yet, can I ask you to drop me a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already? It would be a huge help to a very small channel just starting out on a bigger journey, and I really appreciate it. I've recently taken a massive leap from treating art as a hobby to doing it professionally and taking commissions and such. And I've created a Patreon page. If anyone wants to support the channel further, you'll get access to more content and real-time videos where you can draw along with me or make requests for specific art or specific materials and so on. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you. I'm really enjoying this Scratchbord. I can't believe I've never tried this before. Well, actually that's not entirely true. I've tried one of those pre-made ones. You know, you can buy those ones with the picture already printed on it and you scratch away along the lines. Yeah, I've tried one of those a good few years ago and it was really cool. I mean, you know, one of those something to do when you're bored, kind of like coloring books. But yeah, I've really, really loved this. This is absolutely amazing. I might have to try this on a bigger scale. I think they probably sell bigger boards than this, because this one's tiny. This is actually smaller than A5. But yeah, really awesome. I think this has to be my favorite upgrade box by far yet. Oh, and the wrapper on the Scratchbord actually said you could paint on it. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. Like, would I paint it on the black before I scratch it, or scratch it first and then kind of paint, and the paint would take to the white bits? Or I'm not sure. It's something I'm gonna have to experiment with. Probably not on this one after all this effort, and it's starting to actually come along. I'm kind of afraid to ruin it now. So yeah, maybe another time. I'm making slightly longer lines here in the ears where he's got longer fluff. And it's sometimes hard to decide where sort of not to scratch at all, because I mean your brain sort of knows there's fluff everywhere, so it's tempting to just scratch everywhere, but it's really important to leave some of the shadows and just some of the dark patches in there. I'm giving the edges of his body a very vivid contour, again slightly longer strokes for a fluffier look. But that way, once the sort of outline is defined, I don't have to put detail into the rest of it, because it kind of disappears into the shadowy part of his body. But you see exactly where he is, because the outline is very well defined. It looks like that's where the light hits him. Now the main image is basically done. I have to refine some of the details I kind of told myself I'd come back to, like these little dots around where the whiskers are going to be, and I did say I'd come back to the eyes, so I kind of want them a little bit lighter, so there's a lot more dot work in there just to kind of see them come through, because his eyes aren't really black, but at the same time I don't want them to be as white as the outlines, so I don't want to do them in lines. I have to do them in tiny little dots. It's just tapping the tip of the knife, and you can kind of see them brighten up a little bit. The box also included this bottle of India ink that's been sitting on my desk. It said something about if you make a mistake, you can just paint over it, let it dry, and then scratch it again. Well, I was hoping I wouldn't have to use it, and so far I haven't had to. So I'm quite happy about that. And the scratchers, which I haven't used until now, have much thicker points. So as I'm putting in the whiskers, you can see the lines are much brighter than what I could get with the knife. And yes, I wanted to add a bit of grass in front of him just for the kind of final effect. Anyway, here we are. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.